Okay, the only thing I'm showing you here is in relation to how the tank sets down in the truck. As I slowly come up, right about here we're level, and I can just barely see the green fuel cap. Just want to show you how it sits in there. Got a nice name tag on it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but even where the bolt is, right above that bolt, that plate has a TFI, has their logo, TFI, cut into the metal that they weld onto the fuel tank. That's kind of a neat touch, I think. And the computer software and the pump, the filter, everything is in this panel. Underneath that panel, I'll take it off and show it to you. In August, possibly the 1st of September of 2017. The only option was this tank, and they called it a 37 gallon, and you have to fill down to about here. That neck runs down about here because transfer flow, they want you to have, I forget what it is, about a 2 to 3 inch airspace in here for expansion. They don't want you to fill it up at full, so they keep the neck, that steel tube runs down there at an angle, probably about like this. And the only option was this bed liner. This is a soft bed liner. Now, this is a factory bed liner from Ram. This is a hard bed liner, kind of like Rhino. This is soft. It's got I can dig my fingernails into it, but it's a tough stuff. It's kind of neat, really, and I think you can still get that. It's like a $200 or $300 option, but I never had the option last year. This is the only tank they had, and I wanted to buy whatever they had available. This gives you an idea how close they did mount it to the front. That's kind of my fault. I had in mind I'd like to have at least a 1/4 inch, even a 1/2 inch gap between the tank and the bed of the truck. And they got it as close as you can get it. You might get a dollar bill down between there. You might not. But I'm going to take this lid off and show you the all the goodies that's under it. Okay, guys, under the goodie box, it just sets in place. It has Velcro. Looks like on 4 different points, here to here, and Velcro hits here and here. And then they've got it down here on the sides. I just now noticed this on the fuel filter maintenance. Hope it focuses. Let me hit the magic button. But what's neat is they talk about normal service, check every 12 months, severe duty, check every 4 months. The pump is designed to pump 1 gallon of diesel fuel to your main tank every 3 minutes. And if it takes longer than 3 minutes, say it takes 3.5 or 4 or 5 minutes, it will come on, I think, CHK-FLT or FTR for check filter. It's not a really fine fuel filter. I cut the original open and bought the exact replacement. Here's the numbers right here. Fram G3, it's got a Napa number, it's got a Wix number. I did buy the Wix. And what is inside the filter is really a real kind of a coarse screen just to catch out the big stuff. And the Rams, they've got awesome fuel filters. You know, OEM, they leave the factory with a water separator and a fuel filter right about under the bed where we're standing, looking straight down. And then there's, of course, there's like a, hell, it's like a 3 or 5 micron that's up on the side of the engine block. But getting back to the goodies, this here is where the float is. Looks like a ground wire, and then the wire to the float or to the sensor part. This is a rollover valve. I think it's a vent combined with rollover valve that shuts off in case you do roll the truck over. This here, as we stated, is a fuel filter. This here's the pump. Here's the processor LED light right there that I think when you troubleshoot codes or something. And of course, we just got the simple clamps here. I did change the filter out. It's recommended to change the filter out after the first few months or first couple 100 gallons. If there was a disappointment, it was the fact that taking the lid off looking down into this tank with a really bright LED flashlight, I could see some residue, either from weld splatter or paint residue that dissolved down in there. I'm not sure what it is. It's just like a black gritty stuff, maybe 2 or 3 teaspoonfuls maybe, but it's not getting picked up, and if it does, this filter is going to catch it. And then I got 2 more before it gets to the injectors. If I had it to do over, I would have instructed those guys to give me about a 1/4 inch gap in here. The lid hits it, the access cover. What I really like about the access cover is it's going to be so easy. It's very easy to change the fuel filter, and it's going to be very easy to replace the pump if it ever goes out or burns out. This is just kind of a walk around with it. I'm going to do a small review on this Demco hijacker 5th wheel, which I think is just awesome. But that's on another one. Okay, this is right behind the driver's side, and the fuel lines, the electrical lines come out of there. They run right in front of the tank between it and the bed, and go down right there. You can see how good of a job they did cutting that out. Okay, this is a 2017 2500 6.7 Cummins. Now the mounting place for the Trax 3, you can see they're very limited on where they can put it. So this is the only logical place. And this is where they mounted it, and it has not come loose in over a year. Even the suction cup hadn't come loose. But it is out of the way there. Going down the road, you're seeing what I see. That's about the view you see of this cup right here. It just really doesn't take up anything. The new Trax 3 is a system that takes the solid black bar and splits it in half. It will show half of one, or 1/2 empty. If that was on 45%, it would show 1, 2, 3, 4 solids, and then half of the 5th bar. And I think that's pretty neat. And this 45 and 50, the percent indicators are off to the right side. And what I really like on the new system is, and I can't do this on mine, is that you can cycle through the menu and you can have it to indicate percentages of the tank, of the fuel in the tank, or gallons of fuel in the tank. So, like I say, transfer flow is, they're always improving. Okay guys, I won't talk about price. You need to, if you're interested in transfer flow, you need to make some calls and call your dealer, because if you're going to install it yourself, you can save hundreds of dollars, if not 1,000. I went ahead and had Manning Equipment in Louisville, Kentucky install it. They've been around my whole life, and they own 50 acres and have their facility right next to the Ford truck plant in Louisville, Kentucky. And they do a lot of OEM work for Ford. So when I called them and asked them if have you ever installed a transfer flow on a new Ram, it was in 17, they said, yeah, we have done a couple. So I went ahead and arranged for them to do it, and it's extremely professional on the wiring, the installation, the cutting the holes in the bed and everything. That's just a task I didn't want to take on. This is not a plug for Manning Equipment. It's just they do very, very professional work, and they are a transfer flow dealer in Louisville, Kentucky. Last summer when I called Transfer Flow, this was the only option they had for a new Ram 2500 Cummins with the factory OEM 5th wheel system. You can see these 4 holes in the bed. Now that's the issue of this, is this tank. This is a 37-gallon tank. You can see the clearance. What happens is, if you're going to want to remove that, there's what you got to work with. You actually have to I put a center pin in and back it in the barn and use a chain hoist. You have to come up just enough to clear this. That's why this tank is tapered in, so you can clear this pin. And you have to be careful you don't hit your tank and damage it. If you're even thinking about it, an auxiliary tank and going to transfer flow route, it is a premium package and you're going to pay a premium price. You're definitely getting a premium product in return. Don't hesitate to give Transfer Flow a call. They're the most knowledgeable, friendliest people I've ever spoke with on the phone. Okay, this is to show you that at the exact halfway mark on the fuel gauge of the truck, and then on the transfer flow, I've got reflection here, but I think it'll come out okay. You can see that the main tank, that's the factory tank in the pickup truck, and the auxiliary tank, the tank you purchased from Transfer Flow in the back of the truck, are each on exactly 50%. Okay, I'm sitting here at the fueling station. Fuel gauge is between 1/4 and 1/2. I'll show you what the Trax 3, okay, that's showing 35%. Okay, the pump wouldn't read my card, but had to go inside and prepay for $100, and was 28.6 gallons. And what I did is put 20 gallons in the auxiliary tank, and it took that to 85%, and 70% in the main tank. The pump comes on instantaneously because it's going to pump from the aux because it's at 85% or lower, and it's going to pump from the aux to the main tank until they're both reading equal. This transfer flow stuff, it works just like a Swiss watch. That's all I can say. The pump is on and I can hear it running just a little bit behind me. Okay, there's a fuel gauge. It's working its way up over 3/4. We're on 75 and 80%. Okay, just some more quick shots here. Right now, the Trax 3 is indicating 80%. The pump's off, system is okay, and both the aux and main tank are sitting at 80%. Okay, so we get to the campground after fueling up, and we're still at 80% fuel. And it looks like between 3/4, almost to full, but not quite. Two different views of it, two different angles. And here's the Trax 3. It's showing 85% on the main, 75 on the aux. The truck is angling slightly uphill. Thanks for watching.